Well, Liverpool getting a 2-0 win against Wolves in the English Premier League. Now, Kelly, Mo Salah, of course, scoring in that match, is now the top scorer in the English Premier League. First of all, people thought that he's going to be a one-season wonder, but he's slowly proving doubters wrong.
Yeah, I'd have wanted to be Klopp if I was a coach, because Klopp has a player in Mo Salah who is not in form. He's not particularly in his best, at his best, but he's giving them wins. He's at the back of a hat-trick and a goal and an assist, and he's not at the peak. I'd want to be a Liverpool fan at this time. 32
goals last season in 38 games in the English Premier League. Do you see him achieving that this season?
Definitely, even better. I feel like he has more people behind him, just like City has more teams to compete with. So probably the winner of this season could have 105 points to be able to win the Premier League. Thus, also for Mo Salah to be the number one to be the top scorer, he has to have more than what he got last season.
Virgil van Dijk scored in that match his first Premier League goal since for Liverpool, rather. And how integral has he been this season for the Reds?
And in fact, Robbie, I don't particularly think yesterday Liverpool played well as a team. But with Virgil van Dijk at the back, he really made them relax. He did not have to go down for any tackle. He looked so composed. He was there for a goal and everything. And I feel like he's the biggest addition for Liverpool this season.
He's the biggest addition. Are they going to go unbeaten?
Not really. Addition. Not really.
You doubt that?
This is Premier League. They might even get 3 losses.
Yeah, it's the Premier League. Yes. We had the Invincibles.
Yeah, we had that time. Not really this time.
It can't happen this time.
There's so much money being invested in teams. Cardiff can have, on a good day, Cardiff can see off Liverpool. Yes.
You think Cardiff can see off Liverpool?
Any team that is at the bottom half of the table can see off Liverpool. Yes.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Let's take a quick look at the fixtures for the English Premier League matches that will be played today. And of course, we are going to talk about those matches. And in particular, the early kickoff match of the day, Arsenal taking on Burnley. 2 losses in a span of a week for Unai Emery. They lost to Tottenham midweek, and last week they lost to Southampton, their first loss in 22 matches. So what should we expect, from Unai Emery's side against Burnley?
A testing time for Unai Emery, but he has the right squad to be able to rise against all these losses he's had midweek. And I'm thinking today the biggest difference is involving Ozil in this game. It's the type of games that Ozil really shines, and I hope he starts him.
Do you think, the Ozil has been making headlines in the fact that he's not been played for a while right now, and there has been, rumors that he might actually end up leaving in January. Do you foresee that happening?
Yeah, and with such rumors, it will even stir more from Ozil. And we know Ozil, anytime rumors come and he gets teams like Burnley, he usually see them off very early. So you might see a faster.
There's always been this notion that people have, or rather stats show that against teams that are not in the top 6, he plays well against them. But against big teams, he goes missing.
On a good day against big teams, Ozil would see off a midfielder who is playing against him if he's smart enough. But for teams like Burnley, he sees them off out of being smarter than them. So I'm thinking this is the perfect game to bring back Ozil to the squad, because Arsenal really needs Ozil.
They need the creative mind in him. Of course, we take a look at the fixtures for this afternoon. We've spoken about what to expect from Unai Emery's side, that is Arsenal, as they take on Burnley. That is the early kickoff match of the day. Now, Bournemouth will be taking on Brighton. Eddie Howe, he's not been having the best of results from the Cherries. What do you expect against Cardiff?
Against Brighton, I'm thinking...
against Brighton, sorry.
The most interesting part is Bournemouth is playing home. They are not shy of goals while playing home. And they have the two, Callum Wilson and Fraser. Between them, there's the most goals between 2 players in the Premier League. So you cannot overlook that, and I'm thinking they'll see off this game early enough.
So they're going to bounce back against, remember midweek they lost to Chelsea. So now your expectation is that they will bounce back against Brighton.
Yes, a solid side, but they'll bounce back.
A solid side, but they will bounce back.
Yes.
Callum Wilson, after being called back into the England national team, he's not been scoring more goals as we expected.
Yeah, but for Bournemouth, I feel like when Calm was called back in the English side, it brings more character in the team. It's something that has been lacked in Bournemouth in the past years. If you look at Arsenal, they have a couple of individuals who are names that could make other teams shake a little bit. And having Calm in the English side we don't need him. They don't need him to score goals. They just need a personality, and they have a personality in him.
Of course, we move on to the other match of the day. Chelsea will be taking on Leicester City. This match will be live on KTN Home from 5:30 p.m. Chelsea versus Leicester. That is the feature match of the day. What are your expectations? Former champions taking each other on.
I'm thinking there's a lot of things to liken to Leicester and Chelsea. But today, Leicester have just started, since the start of the season, Leicester have been comfortable in the fight, in the mid-table fight. They have been comfortable there. Chelsea have not been comfortable. They've had to go out of their way to get some wins. So they'll find Leicester, who are still, they don't see anyone at their back, and I don't see vision in Leicester as in what they had winning the Premier League. So I see Chelsea seeing them off today.
Chelsea seeing them off. Apparently, there are rumors that for Leicester, the manager, that is Claude Puel, has lost the dressing room. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, if a manager loses his dressing room, mostly what happens is the team keeps on losing until there's change, and sometimes they push themselves to wins. There's some time back when Mourinho lost his dressing room. They kept on winning twice. They kept on winning. Some of these wins were off of Pogba. Some of them were off of Martial's form. You don't know about today. So
we have to wait and see what happens between Leicester and Chelsea. Of course, Huddersfield will be taking on Southampton, a rejuvenated side after getting a new manager, that is Hasselhalti, and then breaking Arsenal's winning run of 22 games. Now, Huddersfield on the other side has not been a side that is convincing. They played very well against Arsenal, and then in the dying minutes of the game, they conceded a goal, and then now this week they're taking on Southampton. What are your expectations? I'm
thinking Huddersfield and Southampton are still struggling to get into a comfortable point to be at the magic 40-point mark where you are safe from going for relegation and all those things. With that type of tension, even if you're coming back from a big win against Arsenal, or which was home and all those things, it is hard to pick a side, but I would go for Southampton today.
You'd go for Southampton to win this. Charlie Austin, Ings,
definitely,
and Shane Long.
Firepower.
Remember, against Arsenal, they scored 3 goals, and they were all headed goals. Do you expect that?
I expect that to come through, because Huddersfield on the other side have had problems with conceding fast. So they've always gone back, but they always they are the second team to have the most points off of coming back. So they are good enough, and they are home. You cannot just you cannot write them off.
You cannot write them off. Of course, we take a look at the other fixtures of the day. The champions Manchester City host Crystal Palace this evening. Do you expect the citizens to lose points against Crystal Palace, a side that is struggling?
Not really. There's a lot of marks to be achieved today. If they win today, they'll have the most wins at home off of any other team. They'll have 10. If they win today, they'll keep Liverpool on toes. They really need this win too. So I see Man City seeing them off really early today.
You see Man City seeing off Crystal Palace really early.
Yes.
Now, a rejuvenated Newcastle side takes on a side that is among the top, the bottom 3. That is Fulham, a side that is struggling. Yes, they brought in Claudio Ranieri to bring more life into this Fulham side, but that has not been the case. What should we expect in this tie?
We expect 2 strikers who are really at their best. Salmon Rondon from Newcastle and Mitrovic.
He's been firing for the trophies.
Yes. So 1 chance last game he scored. Mitrovic, any chance, half a chance he will score. So today will be about Rondon and Mitrovic.
West Ham will be taking on Watford. I mean, last week Watford won. It was a cracker, 3-2 against Cardiff. Cardiff were almost staging a comeback. And then you have West Ham. They got a 2-0 win against Fulham. And then they have a player that is a 50 million man who's been playing very well
Yeah.
And what should we expect between the two?
Between the two, I see a solid game. I'm thinking this weekend the biggest game is between West Ham and Watford, because Watford are struggling, despite showing what they can do. At this time in the league, they've not won a match in the last 4. West Ham are really at a comfortable position. You do not want to play Watford when you're comfortable. So Watford could see them off today.
And of course, the big match that everybody will be looking at is Manchester United traveling to Wales